Welcome back, my beautiful people. Today we are breaking down a heavily requested Football Manager tactic. It is all about Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 at Sporting and applying a special pressing system in Football Manager. Similar to the last video, the tactic has been created with care and precision, prioritizing player roles and instructions to apply a hybrid press. Sporting are in magnificent form, winning 21 out of their 25 league games so far, only losing 2 while scoring the most goals in the league, and that is what we want to replicate in Football Manager. Scoring goals, but making sure our hybrid press is set up perfectly to block out the opponents. The tactic isn't overly intense at all, proving there are different ways to have the edge over the AI. So what are we waiting for? Let's get stuck in. Amorim is a tactically astute coach who prefers using a 3-4-3 formation. During the build-up, he sets his team up in a 3-2-5 formation with a back three, a box midfield in the middle, and wing-backs that maintain the width. They often drop the pivot midfielders and utilize the goalkeeper to create numerical superiority, which helps them overcome the press. To create an advantage in these phases, Pedro Gonçalves drops deeper to help with creating overloads in the midfield area. The wing-backs stay wide as an outlet for playing over or around the opposition's team's press. Sporting's high possession build-up is also highly effective thanks to their high back line in possession. This approach helps to counter-press by ensuring the height between the defense and the attack shortens, reducing both the time and length of passes and preventing the opponent from pushing up their defense. Amorim has adapted to the ever-changing cycles in the league. Cortés or Diamande, who is more suited for the role, steps into the second line, the midfield. This is a clever maneuver as it allows the double pivot to drop a little deeper into central areas, giving both wide central defenders enough space to split extremely wide. Effectively, this widens the space that the opposing team has to cover, which increases passing options and creates more advantageous angles for the team's progressors. Amorim's tactical approach is a clever one. By instructing the wide central defenders to split very wide, it allows the wing backs to push higher up the field. Additionally, the double pivot drops deeper yet remains central. This creates huge gaps in the half spaces for the narrow 10s or the inside forwards to drop into. Amorim places significant responsibility on the wide centre-backs, allowing them the freedom to control the game from deep, advance the play and progress through the phases. Dropping the double pivot and spreading the centre-back also attracts the opposing press to play in a more direct style due to the absence of an out-and-out number 10, as well as having a deeper midfield. It creates gap for the centre-forward to receive longer passes from the goalkeeper after dropping into the space. For Amorim's playing style, it is crucial to have a ball-playing goalkeeper and a physical centre-forward. In the initial building out phases, the team follows a 3-2 or a 3-2+1 shape, but when they break through the first line of pressure, they shift into a more rigid 3-2-5 formation in the second phase. The front 5 players occupy all the lanes, with Edwards and Trincao receiving the ball between the lines. They will both drop back into a more traditional number 10 position. Sporting always look for opportunities to find the attacking midfielders in open pockets of space on the field. Sporting's narrow attack is designed to create more space and freedom for the wing backs, particularly Nuno Santos. As the left winger often drifts inside or drops deep, this forces the defender to somewhat track the winger's move. Santos is an exceptional player when it comes to delivering the final ball, and he consistently manages to find the 6-yard box with his cutback crosses. Viktor Gyökeres is crucial for Amorim's playing style at Sporting, as the team sometimes bypasses the midfield. He can occupy the centre-back, pin the defender and roll or lay off the ball. Out of possession, Sporting can press high, or Amorim can use a 5-4-1 low to mid block formation effectively. In the low press, Amorim's Sporting side is set up in a 5-2-3 formation. They aim to stay compact and force the opposition out wide by closing the centre. They prefer to play with a high back line, which shrinks the space between the midfield line and the defence line, making it difficult for the opposition to penetrate their defence. Sporting's defensive system looks to constantly push the team up, squeezing the pitch. When the opposition plays a slow or backwards pass, Sporting's first line of pressure move up, with the rest of the team following to stay compact. They push up even more, with each subsequent pass, making it harder for the opponent to create chances and score goals. This approach has been proven to be highly effective for Sporting. Amorim's teams is often considered to be pragmatic and defensive minded, but this is not entirely accurate. Although they are good defensively, they don't sacrifice their attacking play. This season, they are the league's top goal scorers with 75 goals, and they have only conceded 25, which is the third best record in the league. Huge credit goes to Everyday MUFC22 on Twitter for the Ruben Amorim tactical analysis. That wraps up the analysis. Now it's time to go into Football Manager, have a look at what hybrid pressing is, and then how to implement that into this fantastic 3-4-3 formation, which got some great results. Let's go. So here we are in Football Manager, and shout out to TCS as well for coming up with the banging skin. The link will be in the description below. But here is our Sporting formation. It's a 3-4-3. The player roles are all set and ready to go. But let's break down what hybrid pressing is before implementing it. Hybrid pressing systems aim to strike a balance between two pressing styles, zonal and player orientated. These systems are designed to combine the advantages of both approaches, resulting in a more dynamic and adaptable pressing strategy. Zonal pressing involves defending a specific area of the field, while player orientated pressing focuses on disrupting the opposition's passing game by pressuring individual players. Hybrid pressing attempts to blend both of these two styles, creating a structured approach that can be adjusted to the game's changing conditions. By utilizing both strategies, hybrid pressing systems can provide teams with greater flexibility and a more robust defensive strategy. To summarize, it seeks to have the best of both zonal and player orientated pressing system, often through the use of hybrid players who can take up a number of marking responsibilities in order to protect a team's zonal structure even when breaking it in certain phases. And hybrid pressing can also introduce weaknesses into a team's zonal structure, either vertically, usually allowing a weakness in the back line, or horizontally, allowing a weakness to open up in the wide areas of their own team. So that's hybrid pressing. Let's implement that and create this unbreakable 3-4-3. I do appreciate the love and support shown by you guys. If you want to support the channel, then make sure you go and check out the Patreon, where you can support the channel as little as £3 on Patreon. We do some tactical posts. You can join our tactical conversations as well if you're on Patreon mobile. So thank you Jonas, Kai, Spide Plays, Ashton Gray and Yord Mon for recently signing up. I appreciate the love. Let's get back to it. So firstly, let's set up the out of possession team instructions, and we can look at the block. Which block do we want to use? Sporting do utilize all three, low, medium and high press. For me to try and get that, you simply just have to use the high press, because defending in a low block is going to be very difficult for you to then high press. But at least defending in a high press, your team can collapse and then defend in a low block whenever the game needs it. When it comes to the defense line, you have two options against the bigger teams away from home, especially away from home. I did drop my defensive line, but mainly I left it at standard. I didn't really go above that. Now Sporting do squeeze the opponent up the pitch, and one way you can do that is simply asking the team to step up more. Now when using hybrid pressing, sometimes you may want to force your opponent in a certain area to then activate the hybrid pressing. So for an example, maybe your striker is zonally marking and forcing the opponent and directing them where to play, and then it could be your wingers who are then player pressing. So the moment the opposition passes the ball out into those wider areas, your wingers can then mark tighter, tackle hard and press that player. So there you get a bit of zonal with the centre forward zonally defending his area, but then you get the player orientated press from the wingers. Of course, the players defending in the deeper areas will also have their instructions. So with the trigger press, we can use more often because we don't need to go into each player and individually assign them a different trigger press, because what we are looking at is zonal marking and player pressing. So it's going to be more about marking tighter and marking the opposition out of the game. and zonally marking the opposition out of the game. So we do have trigger press much more often and trap outside, which is where we're going to direct the opposition in order to activate our hybrid pressing. So now we've got that sorted, we can start carefully adding instructions to our players. So we are going to start with the complete forward, Viktor Gyökeres. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right because I did do a Google search first on how to pronounce his name. We are going to be using a complete forward. He does like to drop deep, but he's also got the ability to break through in behind the opposition's line. I believe he does have beats the offside trap player trait, which is of course helpful, but he will be dropping deep. We can get that more direct pass into him, but he can also break in behind and link up the front three. He is simply going to be easing off his tackles. Now I don't want him to be tackling harder, being aggressive in that high press, because then he becomes player orientated rather than zonal marking. I want him to defend his area, so I want him to be standoffish but focus more on directing the opponents and where we want them to play, and we want to force them out wide. So of course we have to start sorting out the instructions for the wingers. This is where things get interested and implementing the more player orientated press with the players. Now for the wingers, we are going to be using mark tighter, and now we need to assign them where to mark, because if I just use mark tighter, who are they marking tighter? So for the left winger, he's going to be marking the right back area tighter, of course. And then for the right winger, he's going to be opposite. He's going to be marking tighter, but he will be marking the left back area tighter. Yeah, that makes sense. So now when pressing high, we've got two players focusing on player orientation pressing, and then we've got the striker focused on zonal. And lastly, what I'm going to do to these players actually as well, the wingers, tackle harder, because I want them to be aggressive when pressing these players, but also sit more narrow, which is going to help us in possession. Of course, they want to be coming in and playing in that number 10 area and allowing the wing backs to get further forward and exploit those wider areas. Carefully designing the tactic doesn't just stop there. We do want to play the ball quicker, we want to operate with a higher tempo, and we're also going to use player instructions to help influence that. The secondo volante in the middle, rather him dribbling more or leaving it, we're going to ask him to dribble less and adopt a pass first mentality. So when he has the ball, he's going to look to pass the ball rather than holding it and looking to beat an opponent. So we just want him at times just to play the ball first time. He gets the ball, gets it, receives it, passes it, pop, off, gone, quick, high tempo. The DM on support is a similar thing. We are going to ask him to dribble less and ask him to tackle harder, but we're not going to ask him to take risks because we want to balance the risk taking. We've already got one DM taking more risks. We don't necessarily need two, and one is more defensive minded than the other. Moving on to those deeper players, well, are they really deeper? The wing backs, they are getting further forward and playing in the attack line, but we are going to ask the left back to stay wider, but also cross more often and take more risks. Nuno Santos is a highly creative left wing back, and that's exactly what we want to replicate in Football Manager. The right back will be staying wider as well and taking more risks. So it's sort of similar to the left back, but he won't be crossing more often. We've got one wing back crossing more often, one sort of more balanced, but what we do have is 3 of the 4 players here in this line taking more risk, which is fairly risky. And lastly, moving into the back 3, we have a ball playing defender on defend. Ignacio, he's going to be staying wider. It's going to be important for both wing backs to stretch the pitch, but also the ball playing defenders or the wider centre backs to stay wider to help us create that gap in the opposition's first line on press, and then we can progress the ball through those gaps. But he's also going to be dribbling more, and then for the wide centre back on the right hand side, he's going to be dribbling more as well. Already has stay wider hard coded because he is a wide centre back. Now, what we do have in the back 3 are 2 players taking risks with the ball, taking more risks, whilst the wide centre back doesn't. But we also have 2 centre backs dribbling more with the ball, whilst the other doesn't. And we have a super keeper on attack in goal, helping us build out from the back. So in possession, this is what we look like. Attacking width is set to narrow. For the approach play, we are going to pass the ball into space, and this is looking to play those riskier passes into the front 3 and in behind as well, something that Sporting are very effective at doing in real life. The passing directness is shorter and the tempo is on higher. This does help with the back 3. I found that we're a bit naturally anyway in the back three, it's a bit slow to progress the ball, and I felt that with the higher tempo just gives it a boost. Don't forget, we are on balanced mentality as well, so naturally even in this back three we aren't looking to be the most progressive and quickest team on the ball, so I was giving it a big boost by giving it a higher tempo. In the final third as well, low crosses. In transition, counter press and counter when you've lost the ball and when you've won the ball back, and when the goalkeeper has the ball, distribute the ball quickly and roll it out. Now, set pieces. I think there was a couple of people in the comments that weren't exactly sure how to install those set pieces that I gave you in the last video. I will give you some set pieces again in this video, but simply go into your set pieces, click this little button here, go to load all routines, and then simply just select RDF routines. That's the tactic wrapped up. How did we do with this tactic is very important. So in the squad, Viktor Gyökeres, the top goal scorer, scoring 44 goals in 43 starts. Paulinho getting 20 goals, which isn't bad as the backup striker, though he did play a lot of games on the left wing. Trincao got 15 goals and Marcus Edwards got 14 goals. Funnily enough, they both shared that right winger spot. And then we got Pedro Gonçalves on 13 goals and Morita with 11. Thank God Sebastian Coates isn't in double figures for the goals. Looking at the assists, Nuno Santos, like I said, the creative player, with 21 assists, Morita with 15, Gonçalves with 15, our right back with 14, and Mateus Reis with 11. Competitions, we won the league with 92 points, winning 30 out of the 34. I mean, Sporting are sort of on course of doing that in real life as well. In the Europa League, we were the runners up, losing 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen in the final in the Portuguese Cup. I mean, I haven't played that yet. I was pondering whether to play that in the video or not. I guess we sort of have to play that in the video now. And we also won the Portuguese League Cup, so we could have won all 4 trophies, but at the moment we've won 2 with a possibility of adding a third. Statistically, very dominant. The most goals, highest expected 4, the most non-penalty expected goals as well, most chances created, most goals from corners, albeit 1 higher than Gil Vicente, and most shots on, fewest shots on target against with only 78, Porto with 127. And in the data hub, you can see that on average we are scoring around 3.32 goals per game with 21 shots at goal per game as well. But that wraps up the video, sort of. Now it's time to play that cup final. Such a shame we lost that Europa League final as well. But let's go. A treble isn't bad. So headphones on because this is serious. This is serious. Pump our fist as well. I mean, we used that last video, so we're just going to do it again. Go into our tactics, make sure everything is set up A-OK. Yep. So you can see with the intensity as well, it's not the most intense tactic. I mean, we're also using, so if I take this off, distribute the ball quickly, you can see the intensity drops as well. This isn't necessarily an instruction that is needed, but hey, we're just going to use it if it helps. But this is the team that we're going to go with. Let's go today. Make sure the marking's set up. Yep, the marking's set up. And let's go. So here is the cup final. Sporting side here, the 3-4-3. We are missing one of our DMs, the ball winning version of our DM, but also Inacio as well, who is knackered for this game. The boys are out. The boys are out. They're in their huddle. The last bit of chat, and then let's go. I mean, what's happened there? But I mean, thank God there's a replay, because it just went into a highlight and it was a goal. So the right back whips in the ball. Here's Pedro Gonçalves on the far post. That was the weirdest highlight I have ever seen. It just went into a goal. So here we are in the cup final, 1-0 up in 2 minutes. Mentalness, mental stuff. So here we have a throw in as well. The right back throws it into Edwards. Edwards to Morita. Diamande plays it back to Sebastian Coates. Let's reset and have a positional attack. Here's Pedro Gonçalves. You can see the left wing back looking to advance. You can sort of see our shape here as well. The 2 wing backs are advanced, and then we've got our 2 wingers. Look how narrow our wingers are. That's clearly not a winger there, but he's a winger, Pedro Gonçalves, and there's one hiding there behind the, there he is, Edwards. Here's Nuno. But wow, do not go back into the own goal. Here's Sebastian Coates. We have reset completely. So I think my Segundo Volante is a bit too high. He's on attack, obviously, but it also provided the tactic with much more balance, especially going forward, because the wing backs don't really attack the box. So I just needed that extra player attacking the box. Pedro got, oh, we've hit the bar. Oh, Viktor Gyökeres. I mean, it might be offside. I'm not exactly sure what's happened there. It seemed that their defender just kicked it against him. We hit the bar. Their defender tried to clear it. It's a goal given. I didn't think it would be disallowed anyway because he wins the initial header. So he's onside there. Oh, yeah, the defender, he just picks up the rebound and volleys in the rebound. It's 2-0. And that's his, how many goals this season now for Gyökeres? That's 45. Goal number 45. Here's Morita, Diamande. 45. Wasn't it a different number when I... Okay. Diamande. Here's Edwards picking up that space. So there we are as well. Let's go back. I mean, it's going to be fairly important to see the tactic here. So we've got our wide centre back stretching the pitch, and we've also got the right wing back stretching the pitch. What that does is opens up the spaces that we can play in. Now our centre back can just pass it to this centre back, and now this centre back has the pass right into our number 10 or winger. Here's Edwards. Back to Sergio. Edwards cuts in. Oh, I thought he's going to smash that with his left foot. Here's Morita. I thought Nuno was going to overlap there. Here's Ricardo. Whips it in. It's another looped cross. And Viktor Gyökeres with his second goal of the game. Our third goal of the game. This is becoming a bit of a rout here. It is becoming a bit of a rout here. All goals come from that right-hand side and looped crosses rather than low crosses. So maybe floated crosses. Maybe one way to break this team down. They're clearly not good in the air, and Viktor Gyökeres has been dominant. 3-0. So here we have a corner. Nuno Santos whips it into the far post area. Here's Edwards, picks up the rebound. Mateus. Back to Sebastian Cortés. Diamande. Oh, I saw that run. Oh, he's always picked him out. It's Nuno Pedro. Beautiful goal. Beautiful goal, if you ask me. It is now... What's this team's name? Herrera. They're on 0, whatever the team's name is, and we are on 4. But they can pull one back here. Annoyingly, they have. Offside ref. Clean sheet, lads. Come on. Oh, goal disallowed. So here's Maradona. Come on, just name yourself Maradona. You want to. Here's Faustino. They're right back. So here's our left back here, chasing back, getting back, making sure he got sucked in there, to be fair, Pedro Gonçalves there. He got sucked in, but the moment he realizes, hey, I'm in the wrong position, look at him busting his gut to get back there. Tar, well done. What is his work rate here? Because this is going to be important as well. So 13 work rate, 11 teamwork. Maybe that could be the average that you're looking for from your wingers here. Here's Mateus Reis, Morita. Tar, what ball. Gyökeres. Carries it on. Ooh, that was almost a decent cross there. A half space cross. I don't really see that in this game. Diamande, sorry that I had a cough. Ricardo, is it going to be another looped cross? No, Morita. Diamande's in the box. Diamande, Morita. We've hit the bar. How many players did we have in the box there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players inside the box there. Absolute mental. So we go in. 4-0 up. 4-0 up. We can pump our fist. And you know what? I hate when the second half performance drops. I mean, it's natural. It's going to drop. I know it is. And they're going to push bodies forward as well. So I'm going to I'm going to drop my defense line, which is sort of the tactic I use against the bigger teams or big teams. Poor old Benfica. That sort of business. Here's Morita, Daniel, Mateus. Just driving forward. Jeez, that's my left back, ain't it? Yeah, that's my ball playing defender there. I would also say as well in this game, substitutions are fairly important. I never used to make subs. I used to just let it play out and okay, if I got a light injury or whatever, if I need to make a sub, I need to make a sub. But recently in FM24 especially, I've been making a lot more subs and more of a, is it a method? I wait for around the 65th, 70th minute to make a sub as well. Oh my days, it's another highlight. Daniel, here we go, picks up the ball. Hey, oh, it's a back heel. It's new. What have I just witnessed in the cup final? What? That was a great goal. That was a very, very good goal. Wow. It's 5-0. Oh my God. It's another. It's non-stop. Wave after wave after wave of attacks. It's almost embarrassing to score more goals here. It's 6-0 in 1 hour of the game. It's a cup final. I'm going to keep saying that. This is a cup final. Albeit not against the greatest side in Portugal, but we did knock out Benfica and Porto, so we did work hard to get here. So that is it, and let's go. My right winger also got sucked there as well, but he gets back. So similar to what Pedro Gonçalves done, they sort of get sucked in. Now I don't know if that's because I'm using a high press. I'm not exactly sure, but we have seen now twice our wingers getting sucked in rather than staying. Wow, good goal. It's so annoying when you're smashing a team and then you bloody go and concede a goal. It's the most frustrating thing. But Edwards off for Trinqual because I like you. Daniel Paranksa. I don't. Hey, the pronunciations are A1 today. Even look at the match momentum. It's just all one-sided. I mean, it does make sense when you are playing the team in the second division. So, oh, look at this. So you can see the first half stats. Oh my God, this skin's amazing. You got the option to see the first half stats, the second half stats, or the full match stats. That is amazing. That is amazing. So who is this guy that scored against us? Because he's going to be decent, ain't he? He scored against us in the second division. So that is it. It is Sporting, the winners, of course. We weren't really expecting any other result here against a second division side, but we did have to beat Porto and Benfica to get here. That was, yeah, they got battered. Okay, that's the Portuguese Cup there. Unfortunately, that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. It's been a long one, but I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. Don't forget to check out the Patreon if you can afford to, and if you want to support the channel. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless and peace out.